Yeah.
Hello, my name is Anna Kozlowski, and I'm going to be talking to you about civil rights and the requirements for your programs. These are the list of topics that we will cover today generally, and you will also need to cover these with the people that you train, your employees and volunteers and any subrecipients that you have. It's important to know that there are 6 protected classes that apply to USDA programs. These are race, color, national origin, disability, sex, and age. Civil rights are those non-political rights that come to us from the 13th and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution and various acts of Congress.
At the beginning.
Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination based on race, color, and national origin. There was a Restoration Act for Civil Rights in 1987 that says if you take even $1 of federal funds, then all of your activities must be in compliance with civil rights legislation. Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 prohibits discrimination based on sex. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 and later amendments to that prohibit discrimination based on disability, and the Age Discrimination Act addresses age discrimination. Executive orders can also be issued that influence what we do. Implementing regulations, we will frequently refer to these as 7 CFRs. FNS Instruction 113 addresses civil rights in the child nutrition programs, especially in Appendix B. Various USDA guidance documents we'll refer to throughout our trainings. There can also be policy memoranda that influence civil rights. It's important that you have a public notification system that you can clearly explain it. It should be about how you inform everyone about what's available and what they need to do to apply for it. You have to be able to provide information in other formats and languages as needed. You have to convey a message of equal opportunity. If you have a brochure, you don't want everyone to look like you in it. If you have people with disabilities, that could be participants or parents, you have to let them know about reasonable modifications and any auxiliary aids and services that are available. And you have to notify people with limited English proficiency of their right to free language assistance services. An important part of the public notification system is the non-discrimination statement. This explains a lot of what we've already discussed. What are the bases for claiming discrimination? The information is available in languages other than English or in alternative formats for people with disabilities. You have to, the NDS also addresses program discrimination and how to file a complaint. The NDS has to be on all vital documents, which include application forms, notification letters of eligibility or ineligibility, notice of adverse action forms, complaint forms, the homepage of program webpage, and public information including program literature. Other documents may be able to use the short form. This institution is an equal opportunity provider is the wording, and you can use that on things that don't directly explain how to apply for the program. Not everything requires an NDS. For example, if you have a simple menu that goes out with no information about how to apply, that would not need the NDS. The Injustice for All poster includes the NDS in English and in Spanish. This poster must be displayed in a prominent place where participants and potential participants have access to it. We are expecting a new one to come out soon, and it will replace the current one that has the color green on it. Anyone can allege a civil rights violation has occurred. They have to say that it's based on one of the 6 protected classes, and it can come to you in any form. It could be written, verbal, it could be anonymous. You have to maintain a complaint log where you log every complaint, and you're welcome to email me and I will send you the template that we use that has been approved by the USDA. A complaint must be submitted within 180 days, or if more time has elapsed and you submit it, then the Secretary of Agriculture would have to approve it being processed. If you receive a complaint, you have to send it to us. We send the complaint to the FNS headquarters and we wait for further advice on what to do next. And again, anyone can file a complaint directly with the USDA. You want to have whatever form you used for civil rights complaints on hand and readily available. We encourage you to use the USDA format. That's what we do. It makes it easier to take down the information. If you do get a civil rights complaint, you don't really engage with the person in trying to sort out the seriousness or whether it's valid. All you do is collect the information. That's what we do. Just the facts, ma'am, move on. If you create your own civil rights complaint form, it must have the information in it, contact information, where the problem happened, a description of what happened, the basis for the claim, identifying which one or more of the protected classes was involved, the name, title, and address of any witnesses, and the date when the action occurred. You want to have the same kind of information in your complaint log. If you're going to write a civil rights complaint policies and procedures, and you should have one on file, just so you know you're always following your own procedures, think about the questions that are on this slide. What are you going to do if you receive a complaint? Is there a main person or can all staff do it? How are they handled? Do you try to resolve the issue on site? And that's possible. You might have someone say it's a civil rights complaint and it's really not. So if you can handle something and you don't get to the point where you need to write things down, it's not a civil rights complaint. It's just an internal issue that you've addressed with. Civil rights assurances are the formal wording that we have in agreements. We have it in our agreement with the feds. It's in our agreement with sponsors, and it's in the agreements that you have with subrecipients. It addresses the civil rights language that we've been talking about before, but this is built into all of the documents that need it. You are required to collect race and ethnicity data for statistical purposes on an annual basis. You want to keep it for at least 3 historical years in the current year. If there's any kind of issue going on, of course, you'll want to keep it for longer. You have to provide language assistance to people who are not fluent in English to the level they can readily understand in spoken or written format information about the program or how to apply for it. You have to have the responsibility of ensuring meaningful access, meaning it's the same access that's available to people who don't have limited English proficiency. You don't want to rely on children as interpreters or translators. And you can't require people to bring their own interpreters to a meeting. If you need assistive technology in any way, you can also reach out to us for help with that. Our biggest news is in the last year, we've had a language line that's available. The phone number there is our main CMP number. It's not used a lot. We've had it used about 5 times this year. But we can, if you contact us, we can bring an interpretation service on the line and get immediate over the phone translation. It has worked very well for us. There is no cost to it. A disability is any kind of a problem that really influences the major life activities. What you really want to focus on is not the disability, but working with the parents or guardians to talk about what you can do to accommodate the person with the disability. You are required to make reasonable modifications to the meal or to the meal services so that you're accommodating people at no extra charge to the person. You have to bear the cost for that. Meals that do not meet meal pattern requirements are not eligible for reimbursement unless you have a medical statement from a state licensed healthcare professional, a physician, a nurse practitioner, a physician's assistant, or now that the USDA also allows it for registered dietitians to write these statements. You want to make sure that you're serving everyone in the most integrated setting appropriate to the needs of the individual with the disability. So if you have a child who has a severe peanut allergy, you don't want to just say you always eat in the kitchen and everyone else eats outside. You want to have them as best you can be able to sit with other students so that you know don't have peanuts with them. Civil rights compliance reviews happen throughout the program to make sure that you're in compliance. They can be done by state staff, state and federal staff, and you, of course, will be doing them with your subrecipients. Citizenship is never a consideration in any child nutrition program. It's just not anything we ask about. You will have to do civil rights training for your staff, for volunteers, before they actually work in the program and have contact with participants or parents. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My contact information was on the first slide. Thank you for your attention.